Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight is our Fleetwood Mac night as we're joined by Southside, Linda and the Bridge. How are we doing, people?
Hi, good Ox. Good to be with the Queen. Linda of Rangers Radio, the King, Bridgeman, and your good self, the Joker. So, good evening.
Good evening to everyone.
I'll take that.
Oh, it was quite good. Good evening, guys. Good evening to all the listeners. I hope you're all well.
Aren't you the Penguin, Southside?
Nah, the ace, mate, the ace.
I don't mean you'd be there at 2 8s, mate.
Aye, good one.
How we doing? Big man? All right?
Aye, good, mate. Still buzzing for yesterday. Not like getting 2 goals, late goals to win the game, mate. Fantastic.
We're going to get a story for Linda. No names, no pack, but true story. Linda, how are you?
I'm all right, Ox.
Yes. You can out him if you want, but to be fair. How are you, Bridge?
Doing very well, pal. Thank you very much. Very well. And it's much like Southside said, what an ending. Unbelievable. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the game, to be perfectly honest with you. There's only one good thing in the 90 minutes, and that was the equaliser. Oh my God. It's very hectic, and people like me, I'm too old to be getting all that worked up. It's just shocking.
I actually, when that second goal went in, the first my thought was, Mrs. Bridge is going to listen to this tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
She doesn't take up much to do with it. Anyway.
You good, pal? I take it he's good, Southside. I take it he's good.
Aye. Brilliant. He was jumping about mental, wasn't he? So he's got to calm down a wee bit today.
Yeah, he was in for a rub down today. Right, Linda, come on. Get that story out there.
Okay.
I might tell mine about the technical side of the show with the oil, the undergarments. But you carry on.
Well, a good friend of mine, he will remain nameless. He left the stadium in the 85th minute, and because we'll let him off with that because he is slightly older and he needs to get that subway before there's a queue. And he was sitting on the subway and somebody asked him what was the score at the game, and he says, Rangers lost 1-0. And there was a woman sitting next to him on the other side, and she looked up her phone and said to him, they didn't actually, the 1-2-1. So he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So, yes, I think there's a lesson there, Ox.
Yes, a lesson for us all. Right, we'll work more through. We'll work our way through the game. Then we'll hear from the manager, and then we'll get the phone lines open. Sound like a plan, Southside?
Aye, sounds good to me, mate.
Okay, who wants to take the first 5 minutes? Right, okay. Well, the game started. There wasn't a lot happening. The ball was basically in midfield. We weren't quite on it. They gets the ball broke to him out on the left. The ball puts a cross in, and we'll get your thoughts, Southside.
The way I've watched it back now a couple of times, and I think they worked it quite well. Obviously, they looked at the size of Yilmaz at the back, and I think they thought if they could get either Shankland or somebody else in at the back post, and that's where he went to, mate. He came into the box, and the way we were set up, it looked like Golson was standing spare. Davis had Vargas, I think it was, in the middle, and suddenly Shankland arrives into the box right at the back post, and he finished it well, to be honest. It was a really good header.
Good header, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Good header. Aye. Listen, I don't have a problem when Bridge, you come in here. People can get beaten there, but I thought the trouble was that it wasn't his size. It was his timing, because he get dragged under the ball, and that for me is poor defending.
I think, to be perfectly honest with you, it just looked. It looked as if he was too wee. He was never going to get the ball. And maybe a good criticism of people that bought the guy, if they think he's too wee, what are we doing with a guy that's too wee in our team? But no, it's timing wasn't there, and maybe going backwards, trying to get a good header in and things like that. Shankland beat him in the air, no problem at all. Actually, a good goal, very, very good goal. Well, great cross.
Good header for the attack. My initial thoughts were that he played right in top him, but he never, because you almost went onto the ball under, it was poor.
Yeah, I think he did that a couple of times in the game, Ox, didn't he? He got under the ball, and I know you've said that you think maybe John Souttar does that sometimes as well, but I agree with you. I mean, it was a great header, and for him to get the loop on it, to get it over Jack Butland as well, who's quite tall, isn't he? So, don't know, 50-50, a really good goal from Shankland, but Yilmaz could have done better, I think.
Because ultimately, he got a free header, Southside, really, he did.
Aye, listen, we've done that. We've done that before. Remember, we used to fling Lee McCulloch in at the back post for things like that when he was good in there, and because usually the left backs aren't great in the air. But you get caught under it a wee bit. But I thought they worked it well. I mean, it was a tactic they used. When he got to the edge of the box, and that boy was about to put the cross in, he made a beeline right to the back post. So it was obviously something they maybe looked to try and expose. And to be honest, it's the first time we've been exposed like that since he's been in the team. I don't think it's anything majorly to worry about. I just think it was a good header that got him the goal. But we weren't exposed many times like that when he's been in the team for set pieces. The team in the past has been more exposed to a defender running around the back of the defence and getting free headers against us, which hasn't happened for a long while. Because I think, as you touched on, I think maybe last night, the night before, from corners and set pieces, we've actually looked no bad since the new manager's come in the 3 games that he's had. So I just think it was one of the ones where they floated the right good delivery in, and it worked for him at the back post, and he beat Butland all ends up, which was a hard thing to do because he's been playing well, mate, but it was a really strong header across him.
We'd have been happy if one of our players had scored that header.
Oh, 100%.
Right, so then you think, okay, so a few minutes gone, we'll get in our stride. Listen, again, my thoughts yesterday, we've not heard for you three, so ladies first, Linda, then the bridge, then Southside.
I thought after that we kind of huffed and puffed a bit, Ox, without really, creating sort of too much. There was a couple of times there was balls played across the 6-yard box, and I think Cantwell, didn't get on the end of one, didn't he not? I think it was actually maybe Dessers that put it across. And then there was another one that came across that I think 3 of our players missed it. Then maybe he actually put each other off a wee bit. And then the only other kind of clear-cut one I can think of was perhaps a Golson header down to Dessers. And I know it's coming at him, through players, Ox, but he has to divert that into the goal for me. I thought, obviously, Shanklin cleared it off the line, but I just think somebody who's playing with confidence and on his toes and alert puts that into the net, Ox, I think.
Yeah, that summed up. Then we get the penalty, Southside, and Bridgman. Southside.
Was that you were saying, Ox, yeah?
Then we get the penalty in the first half.
The penalty, yeah. Actually, still more penalty. But I have to say, I don't know if you get a chance to look back at it. He hit the ball at Trundle along the ground, and it's very unusual for Taft to hit them like that. He maybe meant to hit it low, but no, I don't think on the ground. So I don't know whether there was a wee bobble with the ball moving it away to hit the post type of thing, But nevertheless, it hit it, and it was hard luck. It's really disappointing for the rest of the fans. The fans are not expecting an equaliser here.
Your thoughts on the first half, Southside?
I thought about what Linda said with the chances. That was really all we created. I thought a lot of the players were guilty of getting the ball away at the wrong time. I don't think we had many players on the park. Midfield slightly were getting it away, picking the wrong pass at times, a bit disjointed, which didn't help the chance creation at times. Raskin tried to take the ball up the park, sort of carry it forward. I think Cantwell being a bit deeper, picking the ball up and starting to try and run at them was probably what we needed. And I think the penalty came at the right time. I think it was a good pass for Raskin. I think Lammers played it into Raskin. He beat the man and then played a nice ball through to Cantwell, who was on the run. And once he got in the box, there was only going to be one decision once the player committed the tackle. And where we sat, see when Tav struck it, I thought he mishit it. That's what it looked like to me, when he hit it. And obviously he hits the post. And as Bridge says, it was right along the ground, I think. But I just thought when he struck the ball for the penalty, it looked like he sort of mishit it. But we needed that goal at that time. That would have been huge. Because it gave us meant we had to come out the second half, obviously, and get the 2 goals. But that would have probably changed the game slightly at that point if Tav had connected with it. I think somebody said at half time, I think that's 17 penalties he's missed. Somebody said 17, aye.
Okay.
You could probably check it, but that's what the guy said, 17 penalties.
Well, so then, place is flat. The manager makes a substitution. Everybody is back up at half time, Linda.
Yeah. I think everybody was just pleased that he made the change at half time, Ox. You don't want to turn it into the Dessers show again. I don't know what we do with that guy Dessers. I wanted to highlight there was a wee incident in the first half that he came back in his own half and he miscontrolled the ball. I don't mean to pick on him, but I feel as if you got to mention it. And it wasn't even as if it was a hospital pass that was given to him, but it bounced off him. He couldn't control it. They got the ball, played it through, and the guy put it over the bar. I mean, if that goes in, that's 2-0, and I don't think we're recovering from that. So he's making mistakes in his own half as well. I don't think there's any excuse for that. But anyway, I thought it was right to take him off, and everybody was pleased to see Danilo coming on, I think.
Aye. Did you feel that in the stadium, Southside, Denbridge?
First, I think Linda's picking on him, but
Sorry.
It was a sort of felt just Daniel's coming on. Surely this will get better, So you could sense it in the stadium. I think most people probably around about us and most people in the stadium are probably happy that he was off. And we're getting somebody else to come on, because let's be honest, we're still to judge Danilo as well. Ox, we've only seen wee cameos, but anything we've seen has been a bit positive, so having him coming on, definitely sort of gave the place a bit of a lift.
We don't know how good Danilo is, but at least he can run with the ball. He's got a bit of pace and he can control it Southside.
You can get yourself into chat. You can get yourself in the box, and he seems to know before he'd obviously scored yesterday. But for the glimpses we've seen, he's had a few chances. He's missed a few, especially the one across at Servette when it was easier to tap it in. But he has come up with goals in other games. But he's got good movement, and it's just about getting him on the park, Ox, and getting more game time out of him. And hopefully, if that happens, we'll see more goals come from him.
So, what was the mood with the substitution with you on, Bridge?
Everybody was happy. They were grateful and shall we say, dead grateful that the manager changed that around and brought on, I don't like to say it, but I said it last week, and I'm not being funny when I say it. They need to take Dessers and Lammers back to Auchenhowie and get one particular coach for them that shows them how to actually control it. But back to controlling the ball. He must have lost control of the ball a great number of times last night, him and Lammers. I'm not being funny. I don't want to criticise too much, but everybody's just at the end of their tether with him. We're all just getting rid of him, and these are the comments that are getting made. So, but I think everybody was quite relieved and really pleased, and justified substitution with a goal and a number of chances that he was involved with.
I would agree with one part of that. I'd put the two of them on the coach. That's I agree with. Right, so the second half started, looks a bit more promising, there's a bit more spark in the team. We're totally dominant. Lacking a cut nets, Linda? Lacking a bit of width, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Ox. were kind of trying to work the ball, and we had a few shots at goal, didn't we? I think Lundstrom was trying his best. You know, he was up the park, he was trying a few shots. Cantwell had a couple as well, and then I think Raskin actually got injured shooting at goal, didn't he?
I think it was his body shape and the way he came down. One time he turned and just came down. It looks as if he rolled his ankle for me.
No.
Yeah, hopefully it's no ligaments, because if it is,
yeah,
it'll be 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, but aye, that was a shot, man. Do you agree with Huffed and Puffed? Would that be fair?
Yeah, definitely, Ox, yeah.
Southside?
Aye, we were trying to play wee 1-2s and stuff. Cantwell was trying to get on the ball and play wee 1-2s as well, and we had a couple of wee fouls at the edge of the box, and that just wasn't happening at that time, Ox. But you could see the effort, and we were on top. You know, they weren't even coming across the halfway line at that point, to be honest, in the second half very often, if at all. You know, we were camped in their half of the park. It was just trying to get that opening.
Aye, we had a possession and all that. If I'm picking faults, we weren't wanting the goalkeeper off. A couple of saves to make for distance catches rather than saves, Bridge. You know, we weren't making enough clear-cut chances.
You know, I really have great sympathy for the Rangers team, because that team were playing 5-4-1, and when they were then playing 11, 10 across the pitch, and the goalkeeper just behind it. And the goalkeeper made some really good saves, and they were just blocking everything. And how you can get through with a great shot or whatever, I really don't know. I just find it difficult to blame anyone for not being able to get a shot in at goal when there's all these players. And just amazing amount of players. You just don't see. I bet you don't see that anywhere else in the world. But here, it's just incredible the amount of players that throw across the box. Incredible. I just find it difficult.
They named up the park some of the times, wasn't it? It was one way.
Absolutely right. They're all there.
It was like 2 banks of 5, Ox, when you looked at it. Remember, somebody did that against us once. Probably more than that, but yeah, you know, when you looked at it, one of the wee highlights programmes, they were, I think, I don't know what channel it was on, but they were highlighting it as a good thing, you know, from the Hearts perspective. They were keeping everything tight, but when you looked at it, you thought, how were Rangers going to actually manage to score? Because as Bridge says, there just wasn't any space at all, and you kind of thought, God, is it going to just be one of these games, you know, where we just aren't going to score? You know,
Linda, also 2 were main people that can do it, or the 3 main people that could score a goal for us in these situations. They just weren't there. And I think it's like we were playing with 2 men down with all the possession in the world, and we just didn't know what to do with it when we got there. That's what it seemed like to me. I have to say that again. I thought Seema tried too hard and just couldn't get into his game at all. He played it a wee bit wider than he thought to be, I think so, or maybe narrower sometimes, you know. But seriously, it's really difficult. I don't know how any coach of Rangers is going to manufacture up a solution against these teams, other than we batter them with pace. That we need to batter them with pace. And
I don't know if pace does beat them, Bridge, and I'll tell you why. When they're sat in that narrow and that deep, pretty much in front of the 18-yard box. If you're
but they took our wingers. Sorry, they took our attacking wide men. They took them out easy. And when we did get in, get a cross in, they got giants standing at centre forward. Well, how many times have we said? We said this all through the season and all the last season as well. It's very difficult. So I hope that this coach is going to come up with some better solutions. He's seen it now with his own eyes. I bet you if somebody told him back in Belgium, here, listen, Rangers were playing Hearts, you know, or whatever, and they played 10 at the back for some parts of that game, he'd go, what was the score? He must have scored 10 goals. No. You know what I mean? we're lucky to get one, or worse than that effect. It's so upsetting, and what Linda said is absolutely spot on. Every other team and their supporters said Hearts were the better team, and I bet you, I don't know if they did or not, but I'll bet they did, and Rangers were lucky. Well, of course we were lucky, but at the end of the day, we won 2-1. And any praise for Rangers? Nothing.
So, we're huffing and puffing.
Folks.
Yes, mate.
See the way you're talking, Bridge, right? You're wanting pace in that. This is our third game in a week, right? We've got a squad who you keep saying is individually as players, they're not fit enough, right? And we've had to go with about 14 players and play 3 games. So I look at it as we ground it out yesterday. I wasn't thinking there was going to be loads of pace. Seema put in some shift on the Thursday night. He done some amount of work tracking back and that. And I think he was just tired and I think physically knackered. So I think for what he's done and Clement for this week, that he's been in for 3 games, I don't want to be too critical of the team on Saturday yesterday, because at the end of the day they ground out a victory. And I think a lot of the players were probably just physically and mentally probably a bit tired, Docs. That's what I thought yesterday, no?
You've got to say a hero to that. You got to, didn't you? Absolutely right.
What we lack, in my opinion, and I'll take this 23, is we just need a bit of guile, you know. But John Lundstrom was controlling the game. He was getting the ball, I don't know, 70-80% of the times. He was the orchestra. But he's not that guy that's going to do the nice wee pass like Cantwell's going to do at the edge of the box. He's not that kind of player. If we're not going to play with wingers, which seem as a sort of, I don't know, it doesn't look as if he's a traditional winger that's going to come in and dribble at the edge of the box and beat players, even though he's effective and we know he can score goals. He still looks as if he's a number 9 playing who can play wide. But we need that bit of guile in our team, Linda.
Yeah, I agree. And also as well, as Southside said, they did have a hard game during the week, and you know, it would be good if we had somebody that maybe hadn't played the 90 minutes on Thursday with a bit of guile to come in and maybe take the game with the scruff of the neck. You know, I know that's not maybe really like somebody like Ryan Jack's game either, Ox. But what we're lacking maybe just that type of player, or a couple of players like that in the squad. And whether we've got that amongst the players that are due to come back from injury, I'm not so sure. But from John Lundstrom's perspective, I think I mentioned that already. I thought he tried hard, Docs, and I thought he was trying to get up the park, and he had a few shots at goal. And that's what I would like to see Lundstrom do a bit more. And it might not be possible because of all these sort of bodies in front of him, but he's got a good shot, and you know, you would like to see him score some more goals for us as well, I think.
I think he scored 1 goal this year.
Yeah.
Somebody said that. Yeah, 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I agree with what you've said, Southside, about what Europe does, and it takes out you know, and especially if you have a hard game. And we did have a hard game on Thursday, and we couldn't refresh the stock, could we?
No, well, and that's probably the reason why maybe some of the players at times looked a bit jaded, and probably how Seema looked a bit tired, and there was other players, and then obviously we've picked up another injury, you know. But they're the hardest games that you need to make sure you get the points when you come back for Europe. Even if you've won in Europe, these are the games that you've got to get yourself back up for again. And the fact that we've got a new manager and he's only had 3 games to work with the squad, and he's only been there a couple of weeks. So, got to give him credit. He's probably installed that keep going attitude to him, because a while ago that team wouldn't have got that result. So
2 weeks ago?
Aye, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they wouldn't have got that result, wouldn't have dug that out. It wasn't a great watch for most of the game, no. But at the end of the day, it was a crucial 3 points. And it's a tiny step back towards getting the gap down a bit. So, And that's what it meant on Sunday. And many times have we had chances to bring it back in the past and couldn't get it over the finishing line. Many times we come away for away runs and back in the bus and everybody's sick because we had a chance of bringing it back and we couldn't. Or at Ibrox, going up the road, and it's the same thing. But this time we've managed to, we get a chink, we got a chance to get a couple of points back and we did it.
Aye, so obviously Raskin gets the injury. And we wish him well, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. And we've made a few personnel changes. I think that was agreed that Cantwell would only get 75 minutes. Agreed, Bridge?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So he was off, you think, right, where's the creativity coming? Comfy. The clock's against us. We're running out of time. I think we know there's going to be roughly 10 minutes added on. He gets a corner kick. It comes in. Who noticed it first time? Because I'll be honest with you, I never noticed it. Southside, then Linda, then the Bridge.
I never noticed the Ox. I just seen when the player hit the deck, when the two of them have ended up on the deck, that was it. And sort of looked a bit, and I'm thinking, and the only player at first I noticed was John Lundstrom. Was saying to the referee, and he was holding his shirt, he was holding like the shirt out, and that was it. Didn't see really any other Rangers player sort of claim for it. I don't know if anybody else did, but Lundstrom was the first one I noticed.
Linda?
Yeah, I didn't notice it at the time, and I think Southside's right. I don't know if Golson maybe did go over to him as well, Southside. I'm not sure, but no, I didn't see anything, and I don't know. Speaking to people, nobody saw it at all. I don't know anybody that noticed it during real time.
Bridge?
No.
Oh.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. And obviously we saw it within seconds. He's lying down, you know, as it pointed out to us. But didn't see it. Didn't see what happened.
No, and then you see it's a clear penalty. One of the things that VAR's been brought in for. He gets a penalty kick. And Mr. Tavernier steps up, Linda. Shows a bit of cojones.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. Hats off to him. The whole stadium's thinking, oh my goodness. And then when he walks up, I'm thinking, oh, please, Tav, just score, please. You know, you're just like, put it away. Because you know, as you say, Ox, the board's gone up, and I think it was 9 minutes, wasn't it? And you think, if we can get this, you know, the stadium will be right behind them, and he tucks it away brilliantly. And it's strange because you're right, his first penalty, Southside's correct, he did scuff it along the ground, and this time he does what he normally does, he put height on it, and obviously went down the middle. And do you know what, you have got to take your hat off to him. The pressure that he was under there to get that goal, Ox, fantastic penalty.
Mm-hmm. But gets a penalty kick, then Bridgman. And then within 2 minutes, Tav gets the ball on the right-hand side of the park. Plays a wonderful cross in. Young Danilo rises like a salmon. Field after player, and then you must have got a great view of that goal.
Absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Actually, to be very honest, it was a superb cross, a wonderful cross, wonderful goal. Similar to, in some instances, similar to the Hearts goal. You know, a great cross, and the cross is beaten till it takes the purpose of beating the last man from a defence perspective. And there it was. But really and truly, somebody mentioned just a bit earlier, the roof came off. The roof came off. Just fantastic. And what a feeling. What a feeling.
Great cross, great goal. Tavernier didn't have a great game. Penalty kick, equaliser. Made the winner Southside.
Aye, and see the thing about the goal, since I've watched it back, he's delivered it in with pace. Danilo makes a run, the defender's watching him, and he goes to go to the front as he's in the box, and then he skips round the back of him, and just as he skips round the back of him, Tav's fired that ball in, which probably, if you look at it, is probably when you might say the defender got under the ball. Because when he's whipped it right in there, Daniel's already behind him, and it's perfect. And what a finish! Headed it right down into the post as well. And considering he's had a face knock and everything else, and his ball's been delivered in and he's buried it well. It was a great striker's finish. Somebody like, he knows where the goal is, but he looks at it and he knows he's got good movement, because he's went to go front and then came behind the defender. But the delivery's perfect, Hawks. What a delivery for to have. I mean, he didn't have a great game, as you said, but that delivery was perfect. The pace and everything on it, and it's just about getting your head on it and just putting it where you want, and it just bulleted right off his head into the bottom corner. Brilliant at his post.
I'm glad you mentioned he was brave, because obviously he's went to the defender then peeled off. But considering he's just come back for a heat knock, it couldn't have been easy, Linda.
No, it was, as Southside said, fantastic finish. Everything about it. You know, as you say, he's trying to play with the face mask on. The last time he scored the goal, it was a header and he got his cheekbone broken. Everything about him. He's a brave wee guy. He looks as if he's got a bit about him. His enthusiasm, and I know he's sometimes he can rush things in front of goal as well. He's got a few goals now, and let's hope he gets a run of games. But the reaction when he scored and he runs to the crowd, and when you look at it back on the television, the Rangers fans are going mad and that's what you want. That's what you want at the stadium. But they gave us something to cheer about in yesterday, Ox. And would you ever thought that current group as well, what they've been through this season so far, would have been able to turn that game around? And you've got to give them huge credit.
Here. Bridgman, sum it up.
As I said, the first 3-4 minutes, dreadful for us, losing a goal. The last minute of the full time, normal time, we got an equaliser. In between, huffed and puffed greatly, but the goal by Danilo, just utterly marvellous, everybody says the manager has got a huge task in his hands, but we believe in him. We think he'll do it, because you just mentioned yourselves there a wee minute ago, a few weeks ago, seriously, we probably would have doubted very much if any of these players would have been able to get back at Hearts at all. It just wasn't there. But they did it, and take my hat off to them. And I think to myself, well, you come to Ibrox and you do that, you drive lots and lots of fouls, lots of jersey pulling, lots of balking, and Rangers come away with the wins, and you're all greeting. Well, keep on greeting, as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy.
Yes, mate. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We will hear for the manager, and then we'll get the phone lines opened, all right?
Yep.
Let's hear from our manager, Philippe Clement.
Philippe, can you describe your emotion at the full-time whistle?
The emotion that I'm really happy, because I spoke the last 2 days with the team that I'm still in an observation period to see, okay, I know their football qualities, but how they are as individuals and as a group. That I'm curious if there comes a moment, and it always comes, that the scenario is not going our way, how they would react. So maybe I should have talked not about that before the game, because it happened. No, I'm not believing in those things. So no, clearly they had the reaction that I wanted. I spoke about that with them, that our strength needs to be that whatever happens in football, we never give up, and we keep on repeating what we are doing, because they are doing already good things together. Of course, we need to still make better a lot of details, but if we show the right mentality over and over again in every action and in the reaction afterwards, then we are a really good team. And that's what they showed today, not with 11, but with everybody, with all squad, also the players who came in to give this energy. Was it perfect? No, but it's for me a reference game in the way that they've seen now, if they never give up, a lot of good things can happen. And it's not a guarantee that you win every game, because not even the best teams in the world manage to do that. But we're going to win much more games than they did until now. So it's a big step forward for me. And in that way, Taif was an example today. Because missing the penalty, getting the stick, because of that, that moment you can lose confidence, you can go down, you can stop taking responsibility. But he took the second penalty, he scored it, and afterwards he gave the assist for the second goal. And I want to see a lot of players with that mentality in my dressing room. I want to see everybody with that mentality in my dressing room, because then we're going to make an amazing season.
You talk about that mentality. You've said it a lot in the 2 weeks that you've been here. Do you feel that your message is already starting to get through then, given the way that the team kept going right until the end?
That you need to ask them, but I've seen what I wanted to see today. A team that never stopped. Also, when you make changes, that the players who came in, they stepped into the game directly with confidence, with belief in themselves. And it's a shit scenario today. First attack that you get against, you get a goal. Afterwards, you're dominating. You get balls on the touchline, just not in. You miss a penalty. You have a lot of shots. I think 28 today. We're really dominant, 70% ball possession. Everything is there to win the game, but it's still not there. But I told them in halftime also, we keep on going because we are a team who can score 2 goals in 5 minutes. And that's okay. It was not 5 minutes in between, but that needs to be our strength for the rest of the season. That we keep our tempo high, and in that way never stop, and we're going to win a lot of games.
It's now 5 points gap at the top.
Is it 5 points? Okay, it's good that you tell me.
Do you think this team is ready to challenge for it?
I will say the same things that I did a few days ago, and I will repeat it for the next couple of months, so that you guys know already, or you can talk with your Belgian colleagues also, because they know it already a long time. I want my team to be focused on one thing, and that's the next game. Nothing else, because that's the only thing we control, ourselves. And we need to raise our level, and we need to become stronger and better as individuals, as a team, and we're going to focus on that. I'm not busy how many points a team has in front of us or teams behind us. We need to focus on ourselves to take as much as possible these 3 points all season long in all the competitions. And that's the only thing that's important. And then at the end of the road, then you can start to calculate, but it's much too early. So I say it now already. I know the question will come a few times probably, but you will get the same answer, because that's what I believe in. It's not a game or something. I believe in that. That's the only way to success.
Philippe, could I ask about Danilo? You spoke about his impact off the bench in midweek. That was a proper impact today for you to win the game, wasn't it?
Yes, of course, it's an important goal. He still has a lot of improvement that he can make in the game and being available. But it's a very important goal, and he's looking bright for an amount of minutes in the training. So he had his injury, he was a long time out. He's not in top physical shape. So we need to do step by step building him. Same thing with Todd today. So for some people, it's maybe they don't understand that you change him after a while, but to keep him good, to keep him ready for the next couple of games, you need to make those decisions also for the moment. I would prefer that I have a squad now that I worked with in preparation and they're all top fit. It's not the case. They come out of injury or some lack some physical fitness. So we need every game to puzzle what is the best squad to start with and who are the ones to replace how many minutes. So that's a good challenge.
You mentioned Danilo coming off the bench. Ross McCausland was another player who you brought on and made a good impact from the bench. How pleased have you been with someone so young to make that step up so quickly? And is he close to maybe getting a start for Rangers soon?
That depends on his trainings and his games, a couple of weeks. So I'm not a coach who cares about age. So look at my track record. In Monaco, I had 70 years old starting. In Bruges, the same. In Genk, also young players. For me, it's not important if you're 17 or 37. It's what you prove on the pitch. So he's already 20, so he's already an old player, to be honest.
Philip, can I ask about Nico Raskin? Just his injury and him coming off, how does he look and what's the situation?
I didn't see him yet, so we need to make a proper assessment about that this evening or tomorrow with the doctors and the hospital. But I hope, of course, it's not too bad because he's been important last couple of weeks and he's a player with a lot of potential still to grow.
Philippe, you mentioned James Tavernier. He's been criticised this season by a lot of Rangers supporters. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that he would take the second penalty kick?
No. And what happened before, I told you guys, all the players started with a white page with me. So what happened before, it's not important anymore. So no, there was no doubt about that. If he felt confident, he's on the list number 1. We have always a 1, 2, and 3. And they can decide that moment if number 1 doesn't feel good, that number 2 takes a penalty. Because I cannot predict what's going on in their head during a game. It could have been that Tav today said after the first missed penalty that let the second one shoot. Was possible, also not a problem for me. But it's clear that, what is the order? So he took the responsibility and in a good way. So that's positive.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972?
It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, thanks for that, Fox. Interesting stuff. Obviously, the manager's got a relationship with Tav right away. Very honest, and he's summing up there. Linda.
Yeah, he's very honest, and you just feel quite reassured when you hear him speak. I know it's really early doors, and I don't know if we would have felt a bit different if we hadn't got over the line, but I still think he would have come out and he would have said similar things in terms of going forward and still building and trying to get people back and getting their physical fitness up, all that sort of thing. But it was really important, probably an understatement, for him to get the win yesterday at Ox, just to keep the momentum going. And we've obviously got tough games ahead, but he is, as he said, he's just taking it one game at a time. I did like his comments about Tav. You know, I thought it was quite relevant, and at the end of the game he went over to him and he obviously, you know, was giving him a few good words. And I don't mind him backing up his players. I think that's, you know, obviously if they deserve a bit of criticism, he's going to do that behind closed doors as well, Ox. He's not going to throw anybody under a bus, absolutely not. But you just like the way he speaks, I think.
Bridge and Southside.
Yeah, I like the manager. I think as Linda just said there, he's not going to throw any players under a bus. He's given them as much as he can. He's given them lots and lots of space and lots of time. And sooner or later, he's going to have a wee chat to them, and I'm sure of it, to let them know just what he's feeling. That may be the end of the month or something like that. But there's a couple of players you could say, don't come back, you know, dead easy. But I think the manager's superb. I think that result has blown Scottish football at the moment. It's absolutely blown them. They never dreamt, they never thought Rangers would beat Hearts. I honestly think that. I don't know if they thought Hearts would beat Rangers, but my goodness gracious, from that running for 90 minutes, what a performance. Overall, on the pitch, not the greatest, but the last 10 minutes was just incredible. Just incredible. You've seen it at the end of the game, the Hearts players were lying all over the place. They didn't know what they did when that ball went in for Danilo.
Maybe they won the game if they looked for a second goal, Bridge, and played a game of football.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know, you think, what were you doing, you know? What's the score? You see 10 men and somebody. You see your 10 outfield players in your box. They're all defending with their life. Of course, they're doing everything they can. But no, it's all right. All right, not for me, anyway.
So you said the manager summed it up.
Aye, I think he talks well. He seems to know what he's doing with the squad of players. He's looking at their fitness levels. He heard them saying Todd was only going to play 60 odd minutes. I think he's building Danilo up, and I think the way he's talked about other players in the squad, it's about that. He's going to give them wee programmes to get done and get them fit. Because there's no point in risking somebody Oxford. I think the way he's talking and playing my game and then he's out for 5, 6 or more like 4 or 5 months as we've had in the past. So I think he's using the squad that's got enough fitness in them. And obviously when other players come back like Tom Lawrence, Matondo, Kieran Dowell and Cifuentes, we'll still to see them sort of come into the fold. But the first two I mentioned...
Both on the bench yesterday.
Aye, I would imagine possibly Wednesday, maybe one of them will have no two at some point, maybe go in the park. I don't know if he'd risk one to start, maybe Cifuentes because he's played a bit of football, but aye, they need to get their fitness levels up and hopefully stay fit. And I think the way he talks is these players have got a programme today. Oxen will get their game time when he sees fit, but he will be cautious with them to get the maximum out of them later on.
Hi, there's a lot of sense in it. The thing that we keep sort of picking up, Linda, is they weren't fit enough. That's the sort of wee jibes we're getting,
Yeah. He talks a lot about physical fitness, doesn't he? And not just when he's talking about the injured players coming back. He's talking about the team and the players that he's actually using just now. And their physical fitness and their ability to play, like the 3 games a week. I don't know, Ox, you just wonder, why of the players that are, the ones that aren't carrying injuries are coming back from injuries, why they haven't got the top physical fitness. But that's just something that's going on in the past and we need to just look forward. But I think it's something that he's very, very aware of, and even things like the players that are injured, Ox, as well. He says he wants to know every single detail and he wants to be heavily involved in knowing what their recovery is going to be like. So he must be wondering as well, like he's looking at all the squad that he's got. He's not going to look back, but he probably thinks we don't want to be in this situation again this time next year or even like after the winter break. You don't want to have 8 or 9 players unavailable continuously. He'll want to sort of get rid of that sort of scenario, I think.
Injuries are part of football, Bridgeman. You're going to get company together. Like Danilo was out for a few weeks there. Yeah, coming together. What do you think? It was an accident and the boy was late. It's up for debate, but that's part of football.
Injuries are part of football. Absolutely, 100%. MD's played football and says no, injuries on the are, and they make a massive difference. Massive difference when your recovery and your recovery time, however long it is, you could probably double that. Unless you're very fortunate, you could probably double that time before you're really ready. You're really ready to be playing at the top of your game again. It's very, very difficult. I take my hat off to Danilo. I think he's come back with an absolutely shocking accident for him. I'll call it an accident now anyway. But he smashed his face. Just incredible. And he's back there. And then he was the day. He headers a goal, an absolutely fantastic goal. And what it meant for Rangers is you couldn't explain it. You just couldn't explain it, what it meant for us. You just couldn't explain it. Can't put any words.
So the coming together injuries, but then when you start having the joints and the muscle ones, you start to think something wrong outside there.
Aye, well, obviously you were getting to see the warm-up outside of the park and that when the coach goes down and he makes sure the players are warming up properly, which hasn't been done in the past. And probably that helps. Coming into this time of year and all, Dens Park's got a lovely surface, right? But if it's raining tomorrow, if it's raining on Wednesday, and that it's a heavy park, Ox, it takes a lot out your legs and that as well. And sometimes you do pick up the odd strain and whatever for that as well. But I think a lot of it.
We're hearing there's a slight chance, depending how bad the weather gets, if that comes in, that storm, Kieran or something, the game could be in jeopardy, Southside.
Right. But that doesn't help either if it's a big heavy park and all that, and you're sticking to the sort of nucleus of the same squad that we've had to stick to for the last few games. So obviously they're no in the fitness peak level that he would like and what he's seen since he's come into the club. So that will improve. No doubt about that, the way he's talking. That will definitely improve. But it's just about just trying to get through the games in the Hawks with the squad he's got. And at the moment, we're doing no bad considering that these players have underachieved many times before. So I'm just happy that yesterday we ground it out, and after a European game we got the right result.
How does this sound? The same sitters at home, Linda. Raskin fit, Tom Lawrence on the right, Seaman on the left, Cantwell in the middle, and Danilo up front. How does that sound to you?
That sounds a good combination when everybody's fit. Yep. When you think about it, as Southside said there, we're doing okay with what's available. And but you've read out there, Tom Lawrence as well. When he came back, maybe he was pushed to quit Ox, because he came back after the long-term injury. And what did he play? One game? Did he start one game? I mean, it's quite incredible. But when you think about it, when we play Dundee on Wednesday, if that goes ahead, it will be their 4th game in 10 days for some of these players, and some of them have actually played the full game, you know, without being taken off. It's a lot, isn't it, Ox?
Aye. Well, the Tom Lawrence one, we did hear rumours, and it's only rumours, that there was a fallout with him and the previous managers because he didn't feel quite ready. And the previous manager pushed him, and then he broke down Southside.
Aye, it was along the lines he probably shouldn't have made the cameo role that he made. Who was it against? Olympiacos.
Aye, and then he got injured against, was it Betis?
Aye, but listen, I believe with this manager we've got, I believe, see if he'd been in at the start of the season and just forget about pre-season and about the levels would have been at, just on the way that squad come back, I don't believe he'd have flung Connor Golson into Kilmarnock game.
No chance.
There's not a chance I believe that manager would do that. And I think...
Are you telling me, and I'll not tell anybody, you know that.
No.
Are you telling me that you think when Michael Beale brought Connor Golson and the rest of the squad looked and went, what is this all about? Is that what you're telling me?
100%. Would you not be sitting there in the dressing room and think that? If you've been out there battering pre-season training and done it, and then somebody just walks in the dressing room but he was one of his favourites and all. This is the thing about when Beale come back. He might have said he was ahead of distance, but all managers get favourites. Even this manager, eventually you'll probably find he'll have favourites. Not probably with a lot of the squad, but in time, managers do sort of have favourites as they go along. You know, they'll have a 2 or 3 where they'll think, you're always reliable and dependable and you'll always be in my team. No, Clement would never have stuck Connor Golson into that team at the start of the season if he'd been manager. You can just tell by the way he's talking now. He's not putting half the players in that we might have thought might have come in. As he said, some of them I think they might be playing longer, but they'll not be. They're getting the minutes. So he's obviously gone by the medical staff, and that's good. Also, it's good for us because hopefully it'll cut down the injuries going forward.
Bridgman?
I agree with you to a point about Golson. I think this manager, there's a lot more about this manager based on what we're seeing in a very short space of time. There's far more about this manager than there is in the previous manager, and I don't want to dish any dirt on him or anything like that. Not that I know any, but I think this manager's got a bit of sense in his head, and. I think he likes Golson. I do. I really do. But Golson needs to start showing how good a player he is. I mean, he's not a good player now. Not as good as he was. So he's got 2 seasons to get some form back in. And I think this manager will get it back. Yeah, I think so.
He didn't start the game well yesterday, Connor.
No.
No,
And by the way, for some points in the first half, it looked as if it was getting worse.
Aye, his passing was poor.
Oh, just shocking times.
I think you predicted back then that he would come back in against Kilmarnock thinking back Southside. Is that right? Was it you thinking it was you?
I said he probably would, but he shouldn't. But listen, sometimes managers think he was the cornerstone of the defence, and that's what they do. They risk it and they play players, and sometimes players will come in. Probably that's how. Probably Todd Cantwell, if he come back, maybe our previous manager might have just played him right for and gave him a 90 minutes. And that it depends. We're only talking out in hindsight, but for what even when Gerrard was there, the one thing I knew that when Gerrard rolled up at Ibrox, our team would be fit, would be professional, and he wouldn't want to lose. He was a winner, and he would install that into the team and the players that he had. This manager hasn't come out with much boasting or anything like that. We only know him as a player. He's played international level. He's not get carried away. He's not said anything outrageous. He's just talked about baby steps and just planting seeds into the team and praising them for the performance yesterday for not giving up on that. So it's all been smooth and level with him. And I think he's got a still of determination, and I think he knows that he's just judging the players. But the thing is, he's getting a reaction out of them, Ox, no? So I think he's giving me the impression that there'll be more professionalism and there'll be a fitness standard now in these players going forward. The same feeling I had under Steven Gerrard.
All right, and I might be getting a new cardboard cutout then.
I better just wait. I'm still waiting on my Jack Butland one to arrive.
You did a king size for Jack.
Oh God, you better believe it.
That sounds a bit wrong, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I better not say anything to Alex.
It's a family show, though.
It's a family show, I know.
Yes.
Right, we're liking the manager, but results make you like the manager, Linda.
Okay, definitely. And I think after the game yesterday, I'm starting to like some of the players again. Okay, I you know, they're a bunch of, we're not saying in any way, shape or form that they're not trying, the players, you know, the players that are maybe not showing the form that we would like them to, they're still trying. And you never know. I know we've made jokes about it, etc., but maybe they will turn it around. At the end of the day, they're Rangers players just now, and we're going to have to just see what happens going forward. But I do like the new manager, like everybody else. And I'm trying to think when the last time we pulled a result like that out the bag, Ox. I know we had the 3-2 game against... That's what I was just going to say, aye. The 3-2 game against Aberdeen. But I'm trying to think maybe at home when we did something like that as well, in the last sort of 3 or 4 years. But it was really, as Southside said earlier, so important that we got that victory yesterday, because we've closed the gap. And there's been times when we've slipped up, Ox, when there's been a chance to do that. I'm
glad you mentioned gaps. That brings me nicely to one of the Rangers Radio pundits' DIY skills. I'm no one for mentioning any names, as you know, Southside, but some of this information comes to me and I can't divulge my sources. So I wouldn't mention any names because it wouldn't be right, but let's just say he lives in the northwest of the city. So he's there a day and he's got the spirit level out and he's putting up with young Jamba's got all these medals and cups and that. He's winning at the football, so he's putting up all these new shelves. Gets a shelf up and that. Boys sitting underneath it with his PlayStation. Next thing, shelves full of his heat.
It's not that. He's got a lump in his head the size of Julian Lescott's forehead.
Oh dear. It could only happen to him. Should have told me put
raw plugs in first, mate. That might have been a tip.
Wondered what the plastic bits were.
You said he huffed them in two, and then did they use them?
I'm going to be marching about with more bits of it. Right, get yourself a mute because we're going to have a tune. And we need some callers. This is a phone-in show. Let's see if we after the tune.
As I was walking down the Coleman Road, I met a bunch of strangers. They said to me, are you going to see the famous Glasgow Rangers? So I took them all to Ibrox Park just to see the flags unfurled. After that display, they had to say, you're the best team in the world. They sing songs about the land that they adore, and some of how they fought and won the country's greatest wars. Some others still seem quite content to use another theme, but I can sing a song about the famous football team. As I was walking down the Golden Road, I met a bunch of strangers. They said to me, are you going to see the famous Glasgow Rangers?
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, I don't think we can avoid talking about our two of our summer signings. Let's be honest, Danilo looks as if he plays enough games and he's got something about him, he'll score goals. Siva's been great for us in the last couple of months. With a slow start, but the number of goals and the type of goals he scored and his effort's been unquestionable. The goal has been great. You know, and then it leaves Cifuentes. We've not seen much of him. And then, obviously, but we've got to discuss the thing that everybody's discussing, good and bad. Lammers and Dessers. Southside, you're the most positive Rangers supporter I know, who always looks for a good angle. Help me out.
I think Lammers, you can see he's got technical ability. He's got good close feet. He's no showed enough or anywhere near enough of what he should. He probably showed more in the pre-season games where he got on the end of a cross coming in the box and he looked quite clever. But for whatever reason, he's just not managed to get going. In my eyes now, I was prepared to give him a chance and hope that he would come. I mean, some of the stuff, he's got good vision. He can pass some nice passes. You've seen the one the other week, but it's not enough. You need him to be on the ball, dominating the game, and that's things that we haven't been doing anyway as a team. So I was putting it down to, before the new manager came in, it was just disjointed and the players didn't have a clue under the previous manager, and I think it's still early, but he had another performance on Sunday, and he wasn't in the game enough or affected it enough for me. And Dessers was just poor, Ox, as we've seen. But again, he's an international player, and he played in Italy. He's had a couple of moves. I think I seen he was sold for about 6 million, 6.5 to that Italian team. I think he signed for Feyenoord for about 4, get sold for 6 or whatever it was. It went like that, and then I don't know what we paid for him, but so he's had a couple of heavy transfer fees, but for some reason it's just not happening for him, and probably when in time or the run a bit now, we could probably take him out the team, and probably use him as a sub. Dare I say it now, because we're low in players, we'll bring him on at some point, but I think probably Dessers would have to come out the team now that Daniel's just a bit back and we can use Seema through the middle. That's what I would think at the moment, to give him a break, and probably Lammers and all could probably come out, because Cantwell's coming back, and you might see Kieran Dell featuring, as you've mentioned, Cifuentes, depending on how much game time they've got.
Tom Lawrence back to training today, I believe.
Tom Lawrence, and probably the other one I would push to is the young boy McCausland, who could probably come into that team and get a chance. He's played some nice passes and that. I know he's still young and inexperienced, but listen, if Lammers isn't producing it, and nobody's, but if you're not putting Cantwell right into that position, then there's no reason why you can't bring the young boy and get him on the park, or stick him on the right and play Todd Cantwell up or further up the park. But if Raskin goes out injured, mate, we've got to make sure we've got ball carriers for the midfield, and I think Lammers was there to pick the ball up and try and thread balls through and maybe take a man on and get shots off for the edge of the box. I think that's the type of player I thought Bill was bringing to the club. But now it's just not happening for him. But he has got ability, technical ability, Ox. You can see it in him, but at the moment he's just not producing it on the park for us in any large spells of the game, or affecting the game as much as he should be.
My biggest problem with England is just disappears. Just disappears completely.
Yeah. See, the difficulty with Lammers as well, somebody put a wee still on social media the day, and it was, I think it was that chance he had yesterday that he put over the Barrocks, and there was I think there was another 5 pictures of clear-cut chances that he's had to score, right? And I know technical ability, he's got it, as Southside said, and he's not shown it. But see if he'd scored maybe 4 or 5 goals, I think he's got 1 goal. If he'd scored another 4 or 5 goals, and maybe it hadn't been playing that well at times, but had managed to score those 4 or 5 clear-cut chances that he had, we would probably think he's actually had a reasonable start to his Rangers career. He's had really, really great chances to score goals, and that's what we wanted. We wanted more forward players that were going to get us more goals, so that we didn't rely on one forward like Alfie all the time for the goals. So he's got himself into great positions to score, and he's not put the ball away. But I think if you look back in his career, that's been a problem for him.
Bridgeman?
I have to say I agree to a certain extent with what the Southside was saying. I've said it a number of times, I even said it tonight. I think that the two they were talking about, Lammers and Dessers, I don't think they'll be able to get a game of football out of them without some extra close coaching. It's not necessarily at fitness level, I must say, but my goodness gracious, Lammers has all the skills under the sun. You can see his feet going and all the rest of it. And his mind says, I want to do this, but I'm afraid the coordination's not there at the moment. I'll bet you in your if you look, I haven't seen them, but if you look back at some of his videos when he was playing over in Italy and things like that, he's probably a brilliant player. But, it's just out of sync. The brain's not on the same level as the fitness. And it's a knack, isn't it, getting it back again? I mean, everybody that's played football, including Linda, she's probably played a bit of football. But seriously, you see the ball coming, and when you've never kicked the ball for a couple of months, for saying sake, that ball's not going to get you. You're not going to get that ball. You're not going to trap it. Things like that. But within a month, you will. And that's exactly what's happening with Lammers and Dessers. That one he said he ran back and before you know it, he's caused major problems in the defence.
And Wednesday, it's November Bridge.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times they're not getting. It's unfair on themselves. I'm trying to say this. It's unfair on themselves that they are desperate to get in the team. I understand why they want to get in the team, but for goodness' sake, when you're in the team, you've got to show something. And there's probably a couple of months gap that they've been missing. And I don't know whether they ever got a pre-season friendly or not, pre-season training. But seriously, these guys, they'll never get it. They need to get away from actually playing football and get out there on the training ground with a coach that can, even personal, one-to-one, and get it done, because there's something not happening there with their brain and the physical side of it. The rest of it you spoke about, I can't disagree with anything you've said. There's some of the players there. Danilo is going to look great, obviously. And Buckland, we don't need to say anymore. He could be man of the match for every game, So there's somebody coming in.
I just feel that the both get something in common. They're really lacking in pace to the extent it's bewildering that we signed them Southside.
No, you say that, but had you lacked pace when we signed him? Had you? Would have been perfect to know in that position or in that team.
Four better touch than they two.
Aye, and he shoot with both feet, and we played the had you position for a long time on a Rangers team, but he done well in it and contributed and scored goals. Listen, might just be taking them, the two of them, a bit longer to settle and stuff. Dessers does look a lot more off it than Lammers, I just think, because Beale's probably signed them and they've no showed up. Everybody sticks them together all the time. But if you ask me, I think Lammers has got far more technical ability in that than what Dessers has. I just think he probably has to come out of the team and maybe come on as a sub now and again. Hopefully we'll get one in, the team will keep improving, and then maybe we'll see a wee bit more of Lammers in time. Some people behind will know, and he'll get punted when the time comes, and if that happens, it happens. But out the two of them, I see more promise, slightly more promise in Lammers than I do Dessers, to be honest.
Anyway, the first caller in the night, just to let you know, caller, this is Rangers Radio, not DIY-SOS. Evening, Stevie.
Good evening. Can I talk to my wingman, please?
Yes.
Mr. Southside, are you there?
Yes, I am, mate.
By the way, it's easy to get a hold of Lord Luke than it is to get you. Sorry, I need to phone the station to get a hold of you, but listen, the carry-out's organised, bottle of tequila rose, couple of shots, and then I've got the chopped pork pieces and we'll slide discos onto them, mate. Okay, for Dundee, so everything's organised, all right? I've had a couple of DIY problems tonight, by the way. Unbelievable, I nearly broke the Wade's horns. But anyway, long story, cut it short. If you're no a joiner, just forget it, get a man in. Right, Southside, we're all organised for Dundee. I'll talk to you later. Good night, God bless. We are the people.
Discos.
That'll be salt vinegar flavour, won't it?
Chopped pork.
No, that's code for some. That's code for these CDs.
Chopped pork.
That's luncheon meat to you, Linda.
Oh my God. Is that a tin of Swan?
Oh dear.
That's how I bring you cheese and crackers.
No wonder, Simpson.
Well, if man likes chopped pork, man likes chopped pork.
There's no many people have chopped pork with tequila rose, is there?
I know, I was just digesting that. That's what I'll be on tomorrow. Oh, dearie. It's going to be a messy one.
What a man. Right, okay. Listen, I'm going to be really kind to both the players and just say their confidence is short. And that's as kind as I can be. I've got to be honest with you. At times we've been playing with 9 players. It's been that bad. The two of them at times. You're right, Lammers can control the ball and that, but he disappears. He disappears for about 20 minutes. You know what I mean? He thinks he's playing American football where you go half and come back on. And Dessers control. His touch, his reading of the game. he just shoves people when he's. I don't know.
Did you know miss the pass across the box that Todd Cantwell nearly got in the end of?
I have seen that, mate, but one kick of the ball doesn't.
I know. But I'm just pointing it out. There was a wee bit of glimmer there. Let's put it this way: when Big Stevie put the shelves up and Tom, the spirit level said they were level, but they weren't level for long, were they? Well.
I'm being polite, Bridge. They're short. Their confidence is short.
Yeah, I think, like in my experience, when you're playing football and you're not on your game, you just know you're not on your game. You worry within yourself. You worry, and that just breeds inconfidence. There's just nothing there. There's just nothing there. I'll try. I'll do this. No, it's not going to happen. You can try as much as you want. You look at that boy Lammers, and he tries and he tries and he tries. Looks lovely when he gets the ball and he tries to dazzle with footwork, and the ball bounces off his leg or something like that. And Dess as well. I've already said his first touch is a disaster. His second touch is probably a bad tackle, and that's the way that chap is. And they need taken out of the game altogether, as far as I'm concerned, for their own good. And go back up to Auchenhowie and spend a fortnight up there, and don't start playing football. Only get the technique back. That's what they need to do with a coach, what sort of supervising them, and they'll find a big difference. Maybe take another month to get them right back to where they should be, because nobody will look at them. Even if you wanted to sell them, nobody will look at them. You just go, no, sorry, no. Show me your last 5 games. What? No, I don't want to look at them, please. Sorry. That's
all
the
right.
way I think.
All right, we've been joined by Bob J. Evening, Bob J.
Good evening. How you doing?
All right.
I'm the bringer of pork chops, no chop pork. I've got respect for people. I give them pork chops and chicken, right, as well as lousy jokes. Never mind a disco. How you doing this evening, everyone? Brits, you're spot on about they two. They've just no got it to play for Rangers, mate. You've seen the last half dozen games and they've never showed, apart from the goal against Hibs with the boy, they've just no showed anything. And they never showed anything yesterday. I don't know how Lammers stayed on the park so long, to be honest with me. But another sluggish performance yesterday, people, but it came on the back of a hard game on Thursday night, and we beavered away and got the points eventually and cut the deficit down, which is a good thing. So on we go to Wednesday night in Dundee, which will not be easy, but we should make it. So that's my incoming statement tonight, Paul.
Yeah, Bob, yeah. Linda.
Yeah, Bob, yeah, we've just got to keep the momentum going, haven't we? I mean, we said that earlier on there, that it was really important for us to get the victory yesterday. And I think the manner in which we came back just showed that they had a bit of heart and a bit of character about them. There's another, 4 games to go, I think, before the next international break. And it's just a matter of ticking the games off, isn't it, Bob, J? And hopefully we'll start to get some players back from injury, and he'll have a bigger squad to play to choose from. And some of the players that are off for him, we'll be able to, take them out of the team. Because he's not been able to do that, Bob, Jeff, because of what's been available to him, hasn't he not?
He's no, Linda, no. He's just in the door, the man. Let's be absolutely 100% fair here. And so far, so good. He's doing great. Who's the next 4 games against, please? I believe away to Aberdeen is one of them. Is that right?
Oh, we've got to play
Dundee Wednesday.
Dundee Wednesday. Then we're Hearts at Hampden. Then
the League Cup semi-final, yeah.
Then we play Sparta again on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we're away to Livingston. I've not looked that far ahead of it.
I think that's what it is.
Wait at Livingston, Ox.
It's a tricky fixture. That's always going to be. And these guys like Lawrence and Roof, if they're going to get fit and they're going to play 2 games and do it for 7-8 weeks, I suggest that they need to come to an agreement with them, because they're not contributing anything. And like the man said, you've got to get everybody fit, contributing.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen with Tom Lawrence, mate. He's still get Roof, maybe Tom Lawrence. He's not even halfway through the contract. He's back in training today, Bob. Yeah, Bob Tom.
I heard that this morning. He's back training today, but let's hope he can sustain it now. He owes the club. He's been there a year and a half. He's contributed very little. All right, you can't help injuries, but the boy never had any bloody. So sorry, Gaelic here. The boy never had any injuries before he came here. So let's hope he can get up running and contributing something, because we're going to need everybody with the programme that we've got. And then you go, the doors open on this league again. I believe it is. So there can't be any of the rest of you. I suppose I dare to say yes. Well, you will agree with me. The doors open on this league again. Let's go for it, because they're nothing great, and they've got a difficult programme and all. But that's their problem, not ours. So just beaver away, Rangers. The man's right. Never look at what's in front of you. Just look at us and maintain. That's all we ask.
Keep winning. Keep winning. Put up pressure. Southside, take Bob J's point, but by the way, it was very remiss of me earlier on not to give Philip Clement a yellow card for his bad language in his interview. Come on here, speak like that. Carry on, Southside.
That's twice he's done that, innit? He said something the last week, you know. Folks had to bleep it out, but it was funny. I think he said, I won't bother saying it. They only did there, I know. No, Bob Ger, it's just about, he's just in the door, and he's had to change the system last week. And that was a good result in Europe. Czech Republic, they're sitting top of the league. I don't know, I think they've drew one game this season or lost one game. So it was a test, and with the players we've had fit and had to rely on, Bob, I think he's doing well. And I think, like we say, we're going now, we've got Wednesday night, it'll be a tricky game. Going to have to use the majority of the players again. As Linda said earlier, it'll be the fourth game in 10 days. So it's a game that we've got to win. And then just keep going. Semi-final's important. So any players that might slight knock, you might not want to risk them on Wednesday night, because you want to make sure you get into that final and win that trophy. So we'll see where it happens, Bob. But his main priority, is what we've listened to all the time, is about fitness. So if we keep players fit, hopefully we'll keep winning games, Bob.
Well, I liked what he said when he came in the door. He says, this people playing 2 games and out for 4 and 5 or 6 games. No, it's just not on. They're getting paid big. Okay, injuries are part of the game, but we seem to have an overload of them. We can't put our finger on it. It's went on for years. It's got to stop. If we have a big, full, fit squad of players, we can compete in this league, compete for this league. And we're Rangers, and we've got to try and win every game, starting Wednesday night, starting any time. So the next half a dozen games is vital. We've got to try and win them all, and we can, and put a mark on it. So the man's doing well. By the way, Sparta Prague are an excellent side. They're a top quality side, and they'll not go doing easy at Ibrox. That will be one mighty hell of a mother of a game. So everybody fit, everybody going for it. Up to the new year, other than the national break, whenever that is. 4 weeks, is it?
No long, Bob.
4 weeks, because it really doesn't interest me. But right up to the national break, get 4 victories. Put your stamp on it.
Anyway, we've also been joined by Davey. Evening, Davey.
Evening, guys. How you doing?
Good, mate.
What's Davey?
Your question for the panel, Davey?
Just a wee thing with for Big Stevie. Tell him he'll need to get a good square man to put the next shelf up. Then he'll be all right. He's on the level. All right. None of that, boy, bond mob.
The plumb line, the level, and the square are no tools that Stevie possesses.
Anyway, no, that's not really a question. It's a point. That was a point I was saying about. Who was the reference after? John Beaton?
Sunday, yes. John Beaton, yeah.
Right. Now, see if... I know there's been a bit of dispute now and again about VAR, but see if we didn't have VAR there, we would have lost that game at the weekend.
Spot on, mate. You're spot on.
Because he wasn't giving us that penalty. No. And I tell you, see when you look at it, he got a clear view of that. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the week before against Hibs, one of our players, I think it was Seamer, the guy had nearly pulled his jersey off. he couldn't hold on to the jersey. So he went downstairs, got his shorts, and eventually got a foul. And he never even booked the guy, the referee. Now that guy pulls Biggs' jersey, but it takes the VAR for him to go and have a look at that. Now he could see that from where he was standing. So it makes you wonder what's going on with that mob. But I think we all know what's going on. But I just thought any of you would notice that.
Oh, you're spot on, mate. We know that. I think it was earlier on. It was Bridgeman said that without VAR we didn't win the game. I think he said that. I can't remember. I think it was Bridge. Aye. Linda, I'll let Linda answer your question because I know you only phoned in to talk to Linda. Linda.
Evening,
hello,
David.
Linda.
Evening.
Yes.
No, you're right, Davey. I mean, I know that VAR's has got a lot of criticism against it, and it's not getting everything right, and it's controversial. But an instance like that, as we said, we're so glad that we've got it. But no, when you look back at the replay of the goal, he is looking right at it. So I don't know, Davey. You don't want to get involved too much with referees, but there is a lot of pressure getting put on them at times, Davey, and it comes from the media and certain comments being made, and it seems to be. And I don't want Bridge to get overexcited or get angry, but Bridge is right. Sometimes it just seems to be that they're frightened to give some decisions for us, but. Yeah, very glad that VAR was there and sorted that out for us yesterday, Davey.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. Southside.
Aye, that's 100% why it's there, Davey. Remember we scored a goal against that mob at Ibrox, Trevor Stephen, Davy Robertson, and it was gave offside and things like that. But football's moved on, mate, and we're getting the decisions now that we've failed in the past to get, and it's fairly and justly. I don't think it was enough to put him on the deck, mind you. Don't get me wrong, we need to hold his jersey, Davey. But when you feel somebody holding your jersey, every player gets done, and rightly so that you get the penalty because he's holding the back of it as he's in the box. So, no, we go what we deserve. And I wasn't aware of it, Davey. And I think when I think back to what I watched, he is quite close to it, and he has got a good view. I think when you say that now, but at the time, Davey, I didn't even know it was going to be a penalty. You knew something happened when the two players went down, and the only person I noticed that was saying the jersey pull was Lundstrom at the time. So, and then obviously it went to VAR. So, no, we're getting our just desserts, mate, on the VAR decisions that we should be getting.
Just getting back to Big Stevie's call, Southside, we've got a poll running for your favourite call, mate. And we just put 4 in. Obviously, chopped pork were in, turkey breast, honey roast ham and peppered beef. We're doing them in reverse order at the moment. 14% peppered beef, 21% turkey breast, 25% honey roast ham, and the one out in front, Stevie must be his relations in that on here. Chopped pork.
Aye, is that winning it, is it?
No way.
Now, Linda wouldn't have had that, would you, Linda?
No way, Southside. That's not a true reflection.
Listen, you can't. The poll doesn't lie, Linda. The poll doesn't lie.
Stevie's voted about 1,000 times.
Yeah, people eat chopped pork, Newton Mearns as well, by the way.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, dear. He's going to laugh. Great point you make, Davey. Great point you make. But we'll not go into Bridge with that because you'll send them over the edge. Bridge, is that unfair?
Aye, probably. I have to say yeah on that one, Oxley. You got me there. Oh boy.
Davey, do you think that result yesterday could give the whole squad a shot in the arm?
Well, it should. We all know that, but the way things have been panning out, we know that can not happen. But I mean, I think it was on the other day there. I think Suicide mentioned it. You mentioned it as well. Now the conditions in the game were really bad weather-wise, and they just run their guts out over there in a European game. I think all that contributed to the way the performance went, because Hearts were no great shakes. You knew if they scored early what they were going to do, and that's what they've done. You've got a centre forward kicking one off a line. That says a lot for Rangers that they could keep going there, and that's something that we see now where we're improving, I think, and hopefully that will only get better.
Bob, Chair?
Well, you're right what you say, David. I thought Hearts played quite well in the first half, but I was contributing to the fact that Rangers were poor. They really were poor in the first half. I was back to Beale football again, trying to pass the ball round about a blanket defence. But, yeah, I mean, we got there in the end with sheer grit and determination. I'll tell you all one thing. 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have won that game. Wouldn't have won it. But the grit and the determination got us through it. And at the end of the day, I'm glad we came away with the victory. That was what we wanted yesterday, with the circumstances of the rain drawn in Edinburgh. But, yeah, as I say, it's looking good, looking better. I've cut the deficit. Let's see if we can cut it again in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's the objective. So on we go.
Keep winning. Pressure will mount on them. Listen, yes, mate.
You see the thing about it, like we're talking about and what Bob J saying. Bob J, like, I mean, obviously he got his first game against Hibs, right? We go in and get a good victory. We play Sparta. It's not going well. We gave up a few chances in the first half. Our goalie's playing out his skin. He changes it in the second half. And then we go in and we look like we could have maybe won it at the end if we just did a bit of luck. The goalie didn't make that save or whatever. And then again, on Sunday, we've not played well for the first half. He makes a change at half time. And then we get a bit of pressure. We didn't create a lot, but we still were going all the time and trying to create. We kept Hearts pinned in. We the players who were probably running on empty for playing 3 games in a week. So I think you can see the managers, he's putting bits in and he's seeing things. Like you said, 3 weeks ago under the previous manager, up and they'll get changed. They wouldn't have changed anything at half time in Sparta or anything like that, or even done that on Sunday. So he's watching, he's got a good knowledge of the game, and he knows he wants to win. And I think if he could fresh it with more players that were fit, he would do that. But at the moment, I think he's doing a brilliant job, considering his hands are tied with what he's working with who's fit ops. You know what I mean?
Aye, because he's not got a lot of options. Right, okay, last half hour of the show, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
It'd be great to get some more callers in, Linda, so we can get rid of old Davey, man.
That's a shame.
What a son.
Oh, God, brilliant. I love that. Thanks for your call. Take my call. I wouldn't have loaded myself with pork chop. Come on, give us a break.
I've just had a text for a guy who signed himself off as chopped pork loyal.
No, I'd rather have a box of Maltese. Oh, no. But what I'd like to say, Ox, about going back to the game, I thought Clement, or you want to say Clement, his expression at the end was fantastic. He just turned around and he gave it a all double fist pumps. And that's telling you that he's in there. He knows what this is all about. And that's what we've been wanting. And this looks good. Hopefully this looks good for you.
Southside.
I think he's a winner, Davey. I think that's first and foremost, no. He's a winner, as I said earlier, I don't know if you heard, he reminds me a bit like Gerrard, you know. He'll be professional by the sounds of him, there's the wee bits that we've heard. But it's still early doors with him, you know. We've still got to see it all come to fruition, but he talks well and doesn't say too much. And he talks about the fitness and the levels of the players and building this team and style, and it'll take a wee while. But the most important thing, Davey, is that he keeps winning. No, we'll all have a hiccup here or there, possibly, but we hope no. So as we go on the now, We've got a wee bit of positivity, as Ox said earlier. We've got Tom Lawrence coming back into training. Kieran Dells was back there and Cifuentes. So hopefully they three and Danilo. So hopefully they four will come in the shorter term and make a difference for the next few weeks before we stop for this break. Maybe they'll get in the team and add a bit more freshness to our squad, Davey.
Yeah.
Linda, then Bridge.
Yeah, and you think about the reaction from the fans as well, you know, the way that we were after we won that game yesterday. We just want our team to win, don't we? We want them to win trophies, we want them to win games. I know it's early doors, but the reaction that they'll get from us if they can go out and just, you know, do well, that's all we really want them to do, Davey. But as I said earlier, he's made a good start, and you know, some different tests over the last 3 games there, as Southside was saying, and he'll have learnt quite a lot about the players that he's got in front of him in just that, you know, a short space of time.
Bridgeman, and you come, bro.
Well, what can you say? Very much like Linda says there. I think that our manager's been absolutely superb. He's had 3 games, and you know, after all the chaos of have we got a manager? Are we going to get a manager? He's came in and he's played. Well, the first game was a lot easier than it ended up a lot easier than we thought. But tough games, 3 absolutely tough games, and we played them out and we've won. And I can't give him any more plaudits than I'm giving him. I think it's marvellous, and I think he's only going to go on and on and on. And when you listen to him speaking, well, he speaks very well. And he says he's got a lot of determination in his voice and his character by the sound of it. So I think he's going to be a real big hit. And you know, the fans are going to love him. They're going to love him. They just, all he needs to do, and I'm not being funny, and I don't want to minimise it because it's really difficult. He just needs to win games. You've got to go his philosophy is the same philosophy that I've got all my life. Biggest game is the next game. No matter what, never mind 3 weeks from now or a week from now. We know next game is the biggest game. No matter what happens, it's the biggest game, and you've got to go and win that game. That's it, and that's what he's got to do. And if he can get that drilled into his boys, I'm sure that some of them will carry him through all the way.
What I'm intrigued at Bob Chair is what his first signing is going to be, what the position is. He says we need filled first. I'm really intrigued in that. Is he going to sign a left back? Is it going to be another centre forward? It's intriguing me, mate. And obviously we'll know to January.
Well, I think the priority is another striker. We need a 25 goal, 30 goal a season striker, and have done for a wee while. A left back, well, that's a controversial, you know. We did pay a lot of money for Yilmaz. I'm not sure he's the answer right enough, but left back's been a problem with Rangers for a wee while now. I think Barisic has maybe had his day. I don't know. I know he had bad fitness problems. Yilmaz, a lot have divided on him, and it's a definite certainty he needs to bring in a goal scorer in January. He's got to. He must. And you say it'll be very, very interesting to see who this man brings in. I hear a rumour he's got 3 lined up already. Who, I don't know, and any of them. We're very, very fortunate to have this man as a manager, ladies and gentlemen. Very fortunate. And I hope results will bear him out, and we might have to have a struggle to hold on to him, because there's a few big jobs coming up if you look around the world of football at the moment. And Mr. Clement maybe considered for 1 or 2 of them, because money is no object to some of these people. And I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about doing in England. So we're very, very fortunate to have this man, but I do believe he's a gentleman, he's a man of his word, that he's going to take his club, this club, Rangers, he's going to take us forward to success. I'm confident of that.
I'm intrigued, Linda, what positions he's going to fill first.
Yeah, I know what Bob there's saying about the goal scoring forwards. You know, we thought we maybe had that, and we might still.
Need it badly.
We don't know about Danilo because we've not seen enough of him. Dessers is not filling us with any confidence, and I think you can only say that, Bob Jer, because he has had a chance to prove himself. The other thing I'm thinking is we don't really have any natural width apart from maybe Matondo, so I don't know whether you know, that's maybe a position as well, Ox, that he might look for a more natural winger type. But no, it is intriguing. What would you say, Ox? Have you got a view?
Oh, if you're talking about yesterday's performance, you're talking about centre forward, left back, and we've still got problems with that right side of our midfield.
Yeah.
You know, that's still yesterday's problems, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get through. We're short in the midfield because we put all his eggs in one basket at the top end of the pitch, and many of them have really worked past Seamer. You know, so it's going to be really interesting. It's also who's going to replace who goes out the door. So January could be interesting, more interesting than the normal South side.
It could be. I don't know if we'll make many signings in January, to be honest, Ox. You might make two at a push, I think.
Two maybe.
Two at a push. I think when you're talking, I think probably we need a striker. Look, going forward, we'll need a striker. We'll need a right winger. We'll probably need a centre back. And you'll probably look to add to the midfield in the four positions. Straight away, I think you'd be looking to put 4 players on it, be around about that. A centre back, somebody in the midfield, a right winger and a striker.
It'll be interesting to see what his priority is, but that's what I'm
Aye, well, aye. But he'll have an idea. He's going to assess the squad, and he's got a good chance to look at them anyway up to Christmas. So, and then he might want to do more in January, but I think that the most of them will probably go overhauled in the summer, I'll say.
And most of the business will be done in the summer, but it's just going to be interesting to see when he brings his own players in, because Davey, that's when they'll really be judged, won't it?
Of course it is. You know, I was listening to a few podcasts today about the Rangers and all that, and somebody brought this one up about the wee boy who scored the goal. What's his name again? The Hearts boy.
Shankland.
Aye. Somebody brought this up about talking about. Everybody says, did you notice the way he celebrated? And somebody guys he didn't. So you can read between the lines there, but I mean that's you just makes you wonder, you know what I mean? And I tell you what, I'm not been a great admirer of the guy, but that other man we've talked about, I'm fed up mentioning the guy's name. His name should be Disaster. That's for me. Can I just bring up a wee point about the interview he had? Now, a point he made, which I thought was a marvellous thing he brought up, was he was talking about Tavernier. And we've all had a go at Tav, and I'm one of them. But he said, now for that guy to go up there and take another penalty, now I guarantee you, every one of us watched that, we're all saying, he's going to miss this. He's going to miss this. And I'm one of them. And but what he said in the interview was, that's the kind of players I'm looking for. The guys who can do that. And he's no wrong in saying that, the words. That is character. Whether you like him, you lose him, or whatever. But that took some bottle, because there was a lot in the line there. A lot in the line.
As it turns out, there was, is it right?
Aye, maybe the season was on the line, if you're being honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just an update on the poll. 12% peppered beef, 21% turkey breast, 26% honey roast ham, and the winner at 42% is chopped pork.
No, a lump of corned beef inside.
Oh, I forgot about corned beef. That'd have been a good shout and all. That'd have been good. It was just a quick poll. Cut on up. You've got to laugh outside, didn't you?
Aye, Linda was no impressed with chopped pork, like leading the poll.
Disgusted.
It's not have a wee bit of tomato on it, Linda.
You would need to, and a bit of mayonnaise as well to change the taste of it.
Oh, Linda, what kind of taste have you got, like?
Well, mayonnaise
Posh.
is okay.
Posh.
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 Nice one. Nice one.
Oh dear. Right, aye. I'll be interested to see what he does. Interesting to see the movement of the players and how the squad develops and who ends up sitting in the stand and who tries to move on. And then there's economics of football Southside where you've got to try and play people to get rid of them.
He will. If he will play some of them to a point. Some of them long term will not be there, but there'll be one, might be two out that squad that we think should still be gone, and he might keep because, like you said, they've all got a clean slate, and it'll be up to him how he judges them on training and what they do on and off the park and what he sees in them and how they're performing for him. So there always will be a player or two that we think probably should go that might get a lifeline up. So it's just the way it is. The new manager has said, and at the moment, certain players are doing all right and certain players are not doing all right in our eyes. But we know long term we want to see another refresh of the squad going forward, because at the moment this one isn't good enough. But he's got to get a tune out of them, and we can see we'll have a style and a system. We can see that starting to unfold now in the 3 games we've watched, and he's had to adapt to a back 3 and still install it into the team. So no, I think he'll be a good manager, Oxton. I think given time he'll be successful at Rangers.
Can I ask all of you just one question? Does nobody want a new centre-half?
Is it my biggest priority?
Well, yeah.
I think we maybe need one, Bridge, but I think there's more gaping holes in the team than the centre half. But I get you, Linda, then Davy.
Yeah, probably you're right, Bridge, because Balogun is obviously the 4th choice just now, isn't he? And he's just been given a year and he's not really featured at all. He seems to be sticking.
He's injured.
Is he injured? Is he, Oxford? And I know Balogun was injured. And I think Davies and Suter, it seems to be either one of them to partner Golson. I don't know whether that will continue under the new manager. But certainly going forward, Bridge, you would probably want to add a 4th one if Balogun goes. I don't think, you don't see really him. He only got the year, didn't he? And if we're led to believe the truth was that maybe they were trying to get rid of Davies in the summer, I mean, I don't know if that's absolutely 100% accurate, but Davies has been in and out of the team as well. So I don't know, Bridge, you would probably want to add another one. I think you're right.
Davy?
50-50. I think at the moment, we've got enough cover at the moment, as long as we've not got any injuries. I think where we're lacking is somebody for scoring goals. I think that's a bigger priority, because our defence is doing all right if you look at the stats. But we need maybe a midfielder, somebody that knows where the back of the net is. I think we're pretty covered at the centre-half role at this moment.
I would disagree with Linda's point about we need a 4th. I think if we sign a centre-half, it should be a first choice, and everybody moves down the pecking order if that's what we do. That makes sense, Linda?
Yeah, that makes sense, Ox, yeah, definitely.
Southside, then Bob Gill.
Aye, I said earlier, Bridge, we probably need a centre-back. As well as a striker and a winger and a midfielder. I mean, we're going to need to get some players. But I think going forward, Connor Golson, after the end of this season, I'd like to think he's seen enough of him and wants to move him on. 2 years left or no, he has to go. Borna, be interesting actually to see what he does on Wednesday night with Borna. Whether is he fit? Do you know what? Is he fit? Aye.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
I was just wondering if he was, to see if he'd have changed it, but just because of the semi-final coming up on Sunday. But no, we need to revamp a bit of defence. But I think Ben Davies, for me, I think it's a better option on the left-hand side. Thought he had a decent game yesterday. Couple of times Shankland gave him a hard time, but he's like that. He's robust. He held the ball up and he's strong and physical. But I thought Ben Davies done quite well, and I think he should keep his place in the left-hand side if it was up to me, Ox.
Shanklin's a good football player, mate. He just lacks a bit of pace to get to the next level. Yeah, he's a better finisher than most of the forwards we've got at the club, if we're honest.
Well, we did a couple of options a couple of times to get Shankland. A lot of people just think, you're scoring goals at United and then you move on, and he went to Dundee United and he was scoring goals there and that. But a goal scorer's a goal scorer. And if you go and watch him enough and you see he gets into positions and he scores goals, and then you try and get him up a level and that, and we just watched him probably go up a level, and then didn't go and take the chance on him. Probably people did think he was a bit slow, he wasn't good enough. But he was a goal scorer and a finisher in the box. He reminded me a bit like Chris Boyd. He knows where to be in the box and he gets goals. And his record at Hearts lately has only been, 2 or 3 already. But he's playing in a Hearts team at Army, playing a lot of players round about him, and it's just a different environment. He still scores goals. He's proved everywhere he's been he scored goals. So I thought in a Rangers team he would score goals, Ox, but he's probably too dear now for what Hearts would want is to pay. Even if somebody else come in from, they're probably looking. He's their captain as well, and I think he's still under contract for a couple of years. And what is he now, 30?
30.
So probably now that boat's sailed, But we should have went from a while back, Ox. We should have. He would have done a job at the Glasgow Rangers. And there's a blue nose in the whole family
here. Bob, just centre half.
What was that, Ox?
Bridges' point about, would you sign a centre half?
A centre half. I said last week, I don't know if any of you noticed, I'm of the belief that Taverner, Golson and Barisic, his time at Rangers is up. I think so. If I can see it, the chair of that man can see it. All right, you know me, obviously, but I think their time at Rangers is up. You're talking about virtually a hell back four there, and I think it needs to be addressed. If you're lucky, last Thursday we had an international class goalkeeper we were looking at doing, and he saved us a lot this season. It's coming together a wee bit new, but there is going to be a lot of people getting moved on to Rangers. And the striking position's obviously going to be one of them. Shankland, I'm in the don't know camp with him. As you just said there, he lacks a bit of pace. But he can finish, the boy, and he would get chances at Rangers. So to take a punt on him and domestically, but whatever Hearts would want for him. And they're all wanting fortunes for ordinary players now. But Lord Shankland, probably could be a job with Rangers.
You think you'd be up for a swap with him and Dessers?
Well, I was going to make a pork chop joke there, but no, I'll refrain. No, I'm not want to pick on the boy Dessers. He's a Rangers player. I wish all the best for him. I'd love him to start scoring goals. I'd love Lammers to come on to a game. I would. I mean, they're in the Rangers squad now, and I want them to do well. Well, they've no got it. It's there to be seen. It's being seen game after game after game, and it's got to be addressed. And this man, his hands are tied behind his back as we can. We've got to wait till January to see what he does. And as you just said there, Ox, I think most of the business will be done in the summer. So you'll just have to go with mostly with what he's got to do. But there is going to be fundamental changes at Rangers under this man. That must have been the agreement that he made with him when he took the job. This squad isn't good enough. You're going to have to up the ante with it. And that's basically it for me.
I would imagine he's had some guarantees as well on budget and that, etc. Linda.
Yeah, he will have. But I think he would have been happy, and he would have obviously agreed to go in and have a look at what was there, with a view to seeing if he can, maybe change the fortunes of a couple of them. But I agree with talking about the Shankland point. I agree with Southside. We should have went out and just took a punt on him when he was finished at Ayr United, because it would have been a win-win, Ox, because he wouldn't have cost a lot of money and his wages wouldn't have been that high back then either. But who knows what will happen going forward? But a proven goal scorer in the Scottish League, I still think that's a good striker to have in your squad.
All right, last word to the night for Davy Boy.
Aye, great. Thanks for taking my call again, guys. It's always a pleasure speaking to every one of you. So look for a good result Wednesday. I just hope that gets the team selection right and come away with a win. So good night, guys, and God bless the Gers.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Bob J.
Well, thanks for having me again. Most enjoyable, 100%. I was up for the messages today, and I got a jar of Branson pickle, so I'm going away burnt out. I only get stuff that Doug doesn't like. Thanks again, Ox. Thanks, everybody. Good night to you.
Final roll for the night. Pepper beef 13, turkey breast 21, honey roast 25, and the champion of the night, chopped pork Linda, 42%.
Oh, I cannot believe that, Ox, but I'll get over it eventually. Great show tonight. Enjoyed being on my south side and bridging yourself. And I'll take any win on Wednesday, but please don't leave it to the 90th and 90 plus 3 minutes, Rangers.
It's another game where it's just all but winning, Linda. All but winning. South side.
Aye, I thoroughly enjoyed the show tonight. Good to have on with Linda and the legend, the Bridge, and your good self. Look forward to Wednesday night up with all the famous Glasgow Rangers. So it'll be chopped pork and tequila Wednesday, but it looks it. So aye.
Discos, don't forget the discos.
Aye, the salt and vinegar
Discos.
Salt and vinegar discos, brilliant. So looking forward to getting up with the big man. I'm sure we'll have, I'll get the crackers and cheese out and all, so we'll have a good trip. And 3 points for the famous.
3 points for the famous. Well said, Carl.
Bridgeman, and you come.
Well, Oxy, what can I say? It was a fantastic night. I really enjoyed it. Good discussions. Well done to yourself and the techie team in the background. They're brilliant. They're real soldiers. And of course, Southside and Linda looking after me, making sure I'm still here and I'm not falling asleep and things like that, you know. But can I just say, the discussions tonight are right up a lot of Rangers fans' street. And there's a lot of them will be saying and agreeing with all of us. And at some points they'll be shouting and bawling at the radio saying blah, 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 you know. So all I can say is to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans here on Rangers Radio, please keep it going for the Rangers and support this manager because he's going to pull us through for sure. Keep it going.
Thanks to Big Stevie for coming in. He set the show alight. Thanks to Bob Jerry and Old David for joining us. Linda, Bridge and Southside for doing the show. Fox and Old School Boys supported by GB in the technical department. Thanks for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Boy.